as we do these things, and it gets me a chance to get out of the kitchen a little bit and get out here on the road and see what's happening. And it's amazing. It's humbling, and it's a bit terrifying, quite frankly. Kind of what's happening here and what is going on in everyone's lives that's participating in this, and how it's impacting them, and the gravity of that, the opportunity and the gravity of that. But it's great. It's great. It's reinvigorating. It's motivating. Let me just give you a quick one here from the share wall. And it was funny. This morning I was out there, and we just did first morning. Actually, got up really early, wrote my presentation, came downstairs, ran through it, was outside grabbing some off the share wall to share with you guys, and completely randomly pulled this off, and it turned out the person who just pulled it off was standing next to me. She told me all about it. So that is Marcy Ward. She writes, "The world is in need of a solution, and we can change the world. One person, one cell phone at a time. That's my path. And it gets free at the same time." And free. Nothing is by accident. This isn't free cell phone. This isn't the concept of free. It's not that I didn't pay something. It's that I am now unencumbered. I am now free. So I'm gonna take you through three things today. And it's funny being the product dude. I've been part of many different roles in many different companies. I've been very fortunate over the years in my journey. But being the product guy, sometimes you're like, wow, you got to be the one to talk all the techie speeds and feeds and put people to sleep. That's never been my gig. I'm actually, in some ways, and my wife will tell you, she's right there. Say hi, Jean. It's on the road with me. She'll tell you, I can't even program the VCR. You still have a VCR? Yeah, I can't figure out that. Anytime there's like a show we want to record on the, what do we call that thing? That DV something? That's on the TV. She's got to do it. That might terrify you a little bit since I'm the guy in charge of all the products. But here's the dealio. The one thing that I'm able to do is actually kind of sort it all out in my head. And when I can figure it out, everyone can figure it out. I actually started out in advertising way back when. And one of my jobs, in fact, the thing I was best at in advertising, where they ended up placing me, I was a production manager in advertising. And we used to do, in the early days, point-of-sale displays and kind of things like that. You put them in stores, you do direct mailers, all that kind of stuff. And what they do is, all the creative guys would bring the stuff to my office. And if I couldn't open it up and set it up, if I couldn't figure it out in a matter of about a minute and a half, I'd throw it back at them and say, keep working on it. And they'd say, no, but look how creative it is, look how great it is. And I'm like, look, if I can't figure it out, no one can figure it out. And when I can figure it out, everyone's figured it out. That's why, actually, I think I'm fairly good at what I do. So today, I'm going to drop three things on you. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. I'm going to tell you why we're doing it. And then I'm going to tell you how it's all going to get done. So when I walk off this stage, you are going to know all that. And you are going to then be empowered to go take that to the world. You ready for that? Yeah. All righty then, let's see what we got here. Let's see what I wrote this morning. So what are we doing? We are building the world's first social commerce company. What is that? Well, Mark Zuckerberg will tell you that he's doing social commerce. He's not doing social commerce. He's doing yet another flavor of advertising. Okay? What we're doing is social commerce. Social commerce, and here's a great thing about this. We get to define it because we're the ones who are doing it. So however we say it is, when people look years from now, oh, is that social commerce? Well, let me tell you what social commerce is. They're going to say this. What social commerce is being able to provide the capabilities and facilities to make commerce less expensive and even profitable. Okay? Now, let me back that up on you a second here. No one, and people kind of say, oh, we're in the MLM industry, we're in the direct sales industry. No one in that industry ever has started their business with the premise that we're going to actually get stuff to people for less.
Come on, somebody.
And the reason is because the only way that you can go dole out all the big doleros to everybody is to charge people a bunch. Usually for stuff they don't need. So when we started here, we set ourselves up for a pretty difficult task. But if you're going to create a social commerce company, if you're going to create a revolution, if you're going to fundamentally change the way that value is exchanged on this planet, you have to start here. You start by being able to provide goods and services for less than what you pay normally. Then, you can even provide the opportunity for people to make a financial income, for them to benefit from it, for them to go and do things beyond. But that's the starting point. That's the starting point of social commerce and the social commerce platform and capability. Well, then you take it from there. And you say, now what you got to do is you got to figure out how you actually fuel that. Right? Because math is pretty simple. I'm not all that good at math, but I know the simple math. Right? When you take away all the money and margin by selling stuff for less, you don't make it up in volume necessarily. You have to make it up somewhere else. What you got to do is you got to take out cost. So what we've done is actually said, look, we're not going to advertise. We're not going to go set up our own distribution force. We're not going to go build stores. We're not going to do all this stuff where a tremendous amount of money is spent and, quite frankly, wasted today. Okay? And we're going to put it in the hands of people. The people who are actually going and conveying the opportunities today. And this is the thing, and this is the epiphany. And when I sat down with Ryan in Washington, D.C. in October of 2011, and he began to share with me this vision, it's like right away in my brain, it clicked, and I said, wow, you know, the game has changed. But no one has started playing it different yet. Everyone is still applying all the old rules to a new game. And that what we have is the opportunity is to actually go and to fundamentally change that. And when we do, the world will take notice. And guess what? Everyone will start doing it. I fully expect not only is Solavei going to be incredibly successful, that's already a given in my brain and Ryan's brain. I hope every one of your brains in this room. But I fully expect that the primary means to convey value and the primary means to distribute goods and services in the future is going to be through this. People are going to look back and say, you mean to tell me there was a point in time where you would actually go and you would watch these things you called commercials? And that's how you would determine what you ate and drank and sat on and drove in? And are you kidding me? Run that by me again. How is that possible? How is that practical? That billions upon billions of dollars were spent to tell you to drink brown water? And you did it? So what we're up to here is pretty important. Hopefully that's starting to resonate. Because not only are we going to fundamentally change the way value is exchanged, we're going to fundamentally change the stuff you put in your body, the stuff you put on your back, right? And that is good. Is that good? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Ah. Doing good is good business. This is an epiphany. An extremely unfortunate thing that it has to be an epiphany in today's day and age. But we got here. You know, looking backwards is only good if you plan on using that information on your journey forwards. But it has become normalized to treat people as a means to an end. It has become normalized, in fact, expected behavior, that's business. The very concept that you could actually focus around doing good and that actually can result in good business seems like almost an oxymoron. It seems like that is just a nice little platitude. Yes, yes, you go do some good. But when I got to earn, when I got to get to work, you better look out. That is so wrong. Who thinks that's wrong in here? Who thinks that's wrong? And I tell you, and we're proving it, it can be very good business to do good. Very, very good business. Yes. Now, I'm going to give you a little nugget here. This morning as I was writing, at about 6:10 a.m., it's coming out of my brain. This doesn't actually come from me, by the way. It comes from up there. I'm just a conduit. And what I figured out a while ago is I don't get in the way. I don't get in the way. I just let it happen. I'm as excited as you are about what's going to come out of my mouth in the next couple of minutes, so that's why we're recording this, because I want to watch it. But here's the nugget. Solavei is transformative merely through its consumption. So when you spend $49 a month for unlimited voice, text, and data, you get a great deal. You also get the opportunity by virtue of paying that bill every month to help other people. Can you name another wireless plan that does that? None. So even if you don't want to step in and actually earn money for yourself, just by paying that bill, you're helping people. Just by paying that bill, the person who approached you and said, hey, I got an opportunity for you. What they're really saying is, look, I got an opportunity for you to help me. Doing good is good business. Now, comes the end of the month, they don't pay that bill, you call them up and you say, you ain't helping me. Right? But think about that a minute. The opportunity starts merely with the consumption. That's the magic. It increases when you share that opportunity with others. And that's how it grows momentum. But keep that in mind as you're sharing this with people. Get that across to them. Where else can you spend $49 a month for something you already consume every single day and have it help other people? When you hear those stories, when you see what's happening on the share wall, when you see what's happening in your own life as part of this, make that story come out to people so that they understand through its mere consumption they are participating. We ain't going to have a room big enough for all of Solavei. Right? Because everyone who's in is in. Everyone who pays that bill every month is in. Okay? And it only gets better from there. Alright. So, now what do we got? In order to do all this, so that's all great. That's all great concept. But the way you got to do all this is, and this is where the hard work starts, you got to actually put together a bunch of capabilities that have never been strung together before. You got to have a platform actually that can handle all this. Right? So I told you what. I told you why. Now I'm going to tell you how. Okay, so now is the part of the presentation where, now just imagine I just walked up on stage and I'm the product guy. So now I'm going to take you through some of the product. Okay? So I'm going to take you through the platform. I'm going to take you through what we got, and I'm going to also highlight how it's evolving. Okay? And one of the things that is like last night as I'm talking to a bunch of folks and kind of walking them through things and they're asking me questions, the thing is, it's a bit startling, and it's a combination of things, but the reality is that we've done, I think we're up to over 70 revs of this platform since we launched. 70. When we first were launching, and those who were here in the beginning know it well, we were doing multiple revs in a day. I'd have my team that, because we've got an India team, we've got a team here in the US, and working a 24/7 clock. And literally you reach a point in time where you do a release and you think you're going to bed, and we'd say, hold on, it's not actually working as we thought. And we would be doing another release and another release. And so we're well over 70 actually now if you count all the point releases. But one of the things about that is we've delivered a tremendous amount of capabilities. And I even lose track. Someone was asking me some questions last time. I'm like, is that really how it works? Keep in mind, I'm not that smart. So that reminds me that I have to remind all you how it all works, because we've got to be able to keep it simple at the same time we're delivering something that is the most highly complex thing that's been delivered, right? So I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to hopefully do it at a level where you'll just catch the most important stuff about each of the areas here, and then really be able to take that back into what you do every day. Take that back into your business. Explain it to your teams. Start using it. Start learning it. But the one thing I'll tell you is, definitely don't be afraid of it. Use it. Break it. Then call me, and we'll fix it. As you've all figured out already, don't call me. Email me. You email me, you will hear back from me. All right. So let's go through some of this stuff. So, and for those of you who are here early on, I took part of what I had done in the presentation when we actually first launched this company back in the end of June, back in Bellevue last year, and talked about these three areas of onboarding and education and motivation and then outreach. And I'm going to take that same context here as I talk about those are the three key areas we focus on this platform and its set of capabilities. So I want to take you through that. All right. So onboarding. So it all really starts with the marketing site, right? So we've got the marketing site, and we've been working to rebuild this and evolve this. Make sure my pointer points. And I'll make sure I point to both of them, so I'm not going to, you guys don't worry about it. I'll be over here and over here. So I'm really starting to feel good about this. It's taken us a while to get here, but I'm really starting to feel good about the way this is performing, and the numbers are showing it in terms of people's engagement with this site and how it functions. We ain't there yet. It'll take years to get this optimized to the way that we really want this to perform. Because like I said, this ain't been done before. So we don't really have anything to work with right now. We're just kind of, I won't tell you we're making it up. We're making it up. Did I just tell you that? Yeah. So we're making it up, but we are testing it. So we have guys like Steve who keep me honest when I make it up. He tests it and says that was a good idea or a bad idea. But first and foremost now, what we've done is we've built the message. We've turned the vision into bite-sized pieces of content, which when you go onto the site and you watch these 5 videos, you know what Solavei is about. It explains very clearly what we're about. So this way, when you direct people to this site and you take them through it when you're sitting with them, it is the content that actually tells the story now. And it does it in a very efficient way. And we continue to evolve these. We're actually testing every one of these now. We are able to tell how often they're viewed, how long they're viewed, where the drop-off points are, who enrolls based upon what they viewed. So all that is now informing this process. But we started all around the message, and we have a good way to describe it. Then we have things like, we've now put what other people are saying about us front and center. So when you come here, you've got proof points. We now have gotten enough time behind us, enough success behind us, enough acknowledgement that we don't have to tell our own story anymore. Other people are telling it for us. So we're highlighting that. And now we also have, within these buttons up here, we have the details. And we're continuing to work on this. You'll actually see next week 2 significant enhancements coming into the way we talk about the share and earn portion and our member stories to continue to highlight those areas. But once we do that, I'm feeling pretty good about the content. The other key thing about this site, and you might not realize it when you first look at it, but the technology and set of capabilities behind being able to track and monitor who referred who, how you came in from various different links, the whole concept of sponsorship as it relates to this site. There's a lot of intellectual property around it, a lot of stuff that we've done here to make this thing as frictionless as possible, but as also as tracked as possible. And the other key thing here is what we do here in this thing called the guest book. So when you come in, and hopefully you guys have noticed this, but this is one of these things, major enhancement that we did, that at the end of the day, you wake up in the morning and say, wow, check that out. Well, check this out. I'll go here. You guys get the guest book. So when you go in here and you see, I use my own account for all this stuff. My account is a demo account. Myself and Ryan are actually, I think, the only 2 people who are not directly selling, because we sell every day. We are Solavei. So, but this account is a test account. So you'll see a number of strange things in here that when you see it, I'll explain to you. But it's also good because I know this is data that I can share with people publicly, and then you don't have to worry about it, right? Anyone else's data would have stuff that is actually personal and relevant to them and their income. But, so here you got this guest book. So it shows, hey, check it out. Jim Ryan's the guy who invited me, right? And here's my little image that I choose to put in here. You have the ability to click on that and sign the guest book. Acknowledge that you're there. Make sure when you tell people to come to the site that they should let you know that they visited. The second thing, and major enhancement we did here, is they can actually ask you questions. So they can put a question right there in the guest book, and it's going to then pop into your contact tracker. So you see how we're closing the loop now. So that we're bringing people into the marketing experience, we're bringing them into the content, and then we're connecting them up to you every single time we get the opportunity. Another enhancement we're working on is identifying and telling you every single time someone clicks on the Join Now button, whether or not they made it through, right? Because we have a lot of people who click the Join Now button but don't make it through, right? Continuing to enhance, continuing to provide you with more information so that you can better run your business and that you can remove as many frictions as possible to get new folks in. And also you'll see here, now, and it's funny because some people say, well, when I go to the marketing site on my phone, it doesn't look all that pretty. Well, the reality is this, here's what we've chosen to do at this stage. We've optimized the thing that matters most. So that means when you click on any one of these videos, they play very well on pretty much any phone out there. They're on YouTube, they're formatted standard, and the content gets through. What we're going to do as the next rev of this, once we get everything to the point we're happy with it, we're going to move it all onto a new platform, and that platform will actually be what's called a reflex design, and it'll actually format appropriately regardless of device, right? So if you go on your phone, it'll automatically convert to phone mode. You go on your iPad, it'll have a different look. You go on your big screen, it'll have a different look. But we want to wait and make sure that we understand how we want it to perform before we actually make that migration, because it's a pretty big piece of work to do, all right? But right now, it works well on a mobile phone as well when you want to take people through. All right. The second key piece of onboarding is what we've been doing with GSM Nation. So GSM Nation is our phone partner. They actually have, I think, some folks out here today that are selling phones. And what we've done is, in partnership with them, we've gotten them to go and build us our own separate site that's on their service. They deliver phones that are specially tested and optimized for us. They load in the data settings, which is critical. They'll put in the SIM card, and it really makes life a lot easier for folks who want to buy a phone. Now, the great news about the Bring Your Own Phone market in Solavei is you don't have to do this, right? And you do pay a little bit of a premium for this, but what you do get is a great experience. They do a very good job at managing customer expectations and making sure people are satisfied, of dealing with some of the challenges when people buy equipment. And we really wanted people to feel good when they use the service because our brand's on it, okay? But it's another little thing to make sure that you're aware of, that you train your teams on, that if you go through our marketing site and you go to GSM Nation, that you're going to get a good experience and that you should feel comfortable in that. And it's got some pretty good, some pretty good phones in terms of price points here on the entry level. And they're also selling the iPhone 5 now. It's optimized on for Solavei. It's all good. In fact, Jeannie just bought one. Rocket. All right. It was funny. They were like, why don't we just ship you one, And I'm like, no. My wife's going to come to the site and she's going to buy one. You're not going to know it. We'll see how it goes. It's funny, she did get a call from someone else. I don't think they call everyone when they do that. So they must have been watching the system. But it went well. It went really well. So I recommend it highly. Okay. Now you've got enrollment. And we've been working a lot on enrollment. And there's a lot of data that we've been working with Steve and his team on around enrollment, how you optimize enrollment. There's enrollment on your phone, and there's enrollment directly from your phone. You can enroll someone, and you can also enroll them on the web. I wonder how many people here do that. I'm going to talk a lot about the phone today. Here is something that I've been working on a while, the team's been working on, and it's funny because they did it, and this is how much we do every day, and how much they do every day. They did it, and they didn't even tell me. So I couldn't tell you. I just heard about it this week, and they did it last week. Right now, on any device you go to, you put in mysolavei.com. Don't worry about dots, don't worry about mobiles, don't worry about anything. Just put in mysolavei.com, and it will deliver you to the place you got to be. So it'll deliver you to the mobile optimized experience if you're going on your mobile, it'll deliver you to the web experience if you're on the web. If you're on an iPad, depends upon the size. Okay? But until now, we've had various different addresses you needed to follow, and it got confusing. So it's mysolavei.com. Even I can remember that. See my point? When I can remember it, you can remember it. mysolavei.com. Use it liberally. Everyone should be going there all the time. Which the good news is, by the way, we already have our members going to MySolavei more than pretty much anything else other than like Facebook. And our usage and our active usership within our own member experience is amazing. And it is a critical value for us because that's where we interact, that's where we communicate, that's where all this stuff happens. So go there, go often. Train your people to go there and go often. Go there from whatever device you choose. So we got enrollment, continuing to work on it, continue to optimize it. Okay, so that's onboarding. So the goal is all that kind of stuff with all the training and all the other stuff that you need to get people in. And that's just step one. Once you get them in, now you got to get them educated and motivated. You got to get them to get into the flywheel. You got to get them to go out there and start talking about it, to start sharing, to start building the business, right? This thing has to keep building and building. It's all about momentum. So, I'll go back over here. So hopefully this is near and dear to all of your hearts. This is my Solavei. This is your dashboard. Sometimes I just sit back and I look at it, and I marvel at it. Look at it, it's beautiful. It doesn't show up nearly as well here as it should. But right here is something already that has become more powerful than the likes of Facebook and Twitter. This is the place where you motivate through the shout-outs, where you interact and help each other out in the community, where you communicate with your network on an aggregated basis, where you follow the people whose opinions you care about, and you unfollow the ones that you don't, where you delete the people who actually are making the noise you don't want to hear. But this is where a lot of the magic happens in this business, quite frankly. And as we build and evolve this business, this right here is going to be a key part of it. So get in there, get involved, answer questions. Don't use it as a place to bitch and moan all the time.
Come on, somebody.
You know, it is so funny because as the product guy, I love it. Because there's no such thing as a bad comment to a product guy. Because if you're thinking it, if you're feeling it, I want to know it. The challenge is doing it here. Because when you're a newbie, you're not the product guy, and you come in and you're like, you're still saying to yourself, I need to be educated and motivated. What is this Solavei thing? And some crazy dude is ranting in here.
Zero negativity.
So let me just say this. You know, it's funny. I had a guy early on who started going off. And this is before we had Adam. Thank God for Adam. And it was me. It was all me against the world. And this guy was going off, and he was getting personal. And he was getting personal on me, personal on Ryan, and then he got personal on my family, who he does not know.
Where's he at?
So here's the funny part. I picked up the phone and I called this guy. And I said, hello. And I said his name. And he got all quiet. He's like, who is this? I'm like, this is Jim Ryan. He got all quiet. He goes, so why are you calling me? I'm like, you know why I'm calling you. Because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. I know what you're talking about. Dude, when you sign up for Solavei, you give us more information than you give anyone. I know everything about you. I know where you're sitting right now. Be nice. Be nice. Never had a problem with that guy again. So, be constructive, be nice. If you really got something you got to complain about, jim.ryan@solavei.com. I promise you I will respond. Is there anyone in this room who I have not responded to? Can anyone say that, Jim Ryan? I reached out to me, didn't respond to me. No. No, it's all good information for me. I want to know. Trust me. It is painful, but I want to know it. Okay? Except if you're crazy. Remember, I know who you are. All right. That's just the left side of this thing on the first page. Then you get to the right side. You got the new network view. I am so delighted with this new network view. We have a booth. I mean, look, you might not like what it says, but you gotta like that it says it. Right? You gotta like that it gives you the facts. Right? Before it was a mystery. It was a mystery to all of us. Okay? What the heck's going on in that network? I don't know. Right? Now you know. Now you know. If it's there, it's there. Take it to the bank. At the end of the month, you snapshot it. It is that.
Come on, somebody.
So, is it?
Can we see the other side to it? Never just have a button where it switches back so you can have both views. Because you sign up somebody or not sign up somebody, you have a clue about it for 2 weeks.
Ah, bonsai. You will have that. In the next release. You will have that as well. You will also know. So when you go into, you must have saw my presentation. You were in the coffee shop and I worked on this morning. No, but when you go into your full network view, this will be enhanced and you will see additional content. So you will know exactly when people come in, you know how to deal with your network, you know who's suspended. And in fact, by the way, when you go into Total Network right now, you can see all that. You just don't see it at as high a level right now. Okay? So, but it's all there. It's all there. The key point here is, and why we went this direction, is this is exactly what you're going to get paid on. Right? At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what you're building. And I know it might have been a little shocking to some people, especially the folks who had very big networks when we did this change. What did you call it? Where it was a dark Tuesday, Black Tuesday? Tuesday. See, Maria and I have a very interesting relationship. I love Maria dearly, and I do believe she does love me dearly as well. Although I cause her tremendous pain. What we did what we had to do, we ripped off that Band-Aid, and here we are. And the great part about it is, it's all good. It's all good. It's all simple. It's all understood. It takes about 5 minutes to figure this out, and about 3 minutes to explain it. And when you're bringing people into the business, you're like, look, this is it. This is it. 3 at a time, get to work. Right? Easy peasy, lemon squeeze. All right. Now you go down here. The right side is where we give you all the goodness, where we tell you what's hot and happening. Connect is always there, and it's always there because it's always got goodness. You should be going in there often. That's where we're recognizing people. That's where we're telling you what's going on. That's where the events are. That's where all the good stuff is at. So go in there often. Check it out. Stay knowledgeable on top of the business. But below that, it's all the latest and greatest that's going on. We meet every single week. Sometimes we meet multiple times a week, and we say, what are we featuring? This is how we interact. This is how we communicate. This is how we educate and motivate. So go in there. Go in there often. Go from your phone. Go from the web. Hey, I got 5 minutes. Don't play Angry Birds anymore. Play Solavei. Okay? Solavei pays. Now, talked a little bit about the network view. But when you go and you click network, you get into the details. And by the way, see this little thing right here? I'll do this on this one too. Everyone go in and click that little thing. And what that little thing is, it tells you what all those crazy icons are. What are those crazy? What is that icon? Well, look in there. And these icons, and this is why this is important. This will expand over time. As we launch new products and services, you're going to go in here and you're going to be able to see right away the various people in your network, the things they're consuming. Hey, is this one buying mobile? This one's buying energy. This one's got this. This one's got some of this. And you're going to want to cluster up all these icons. You want to get people doing more, consuming more. Right? So this is training a habit. This is training and educating on how this works. Okay? You go into Facebook now and you're like, oh, I know, you share this, you do that, you do that. Why? Because you did it. Right? Mark Zuckerberg didn't come to your house and tell you how to do it. You figured it out. So go in here, play around, mess around, figure it out. If you don't know what it is, jim.ryan@solavei.com. But if you ask me a question, and you could have found out the answer by clicking on that little button right there, I'm going to check and see if you were at this event or not. We have a conversation. I'm kidding. But there's a lot of goodness there. I'm going to continue to work and evolve this and take your feedback. So we continue to provide you what you need to be able to see and understand and be getting excited and motivated on what do I do next. Right? This is all. The design intent of this entire platform is simple and profound. It's Pavlovian. Stimulus response. We give you the information. We give you the stimulus. What do I do next? And that's what this is all about. What do I do next? You look on there and you say, Whoa, hold on. These people are suspended. You know what you do when you see someone who's suspended? You have to figure out how to get in touch with them, right? You're like, oh, give me their email. Yes, I know. I know the challenge. But the key is that this gives you information so that you can then go react and act and improve your business and continue to grow your business. And we will continue to work on this. This is a multi-year project. Let me repeat myself, this has never been done before. I feel like I'm walking in a high wire up here, something like that. Hot coals below me. But the amazing part is we actually have made some pretty good progress because we've got a lot of people who've come in. Right? We talked to 12 people. And over 160,000 people have actually come through these doors. That is a huge, huge thing. That's a huge thing that each one of you has accomplished. All right? So we're getting there. All right, what else we got? Also keep in mind that this little button here, this little support button, all that you need to know is in there. Now, many times you'll come back and say, yeah, but it's too much. Well, the reality is that this is a fairly complex business. Take the time. Go through it. It's all in there. In fact, early on, we used to keep a log of questions that people would ask that we didn't have the answer for online. We no longer keep that log because there is no longer a question that gets asked us that doesn't have an answer already.
Right.
Don't clap too loud because it's still dang hard to find it, but but put in the effort. Put in the effort. This is not a handout, this is a handout. Right? This is a facilitation of your motivation. This is empowerment. Empowerment needs you to actually power. Now, I'll give you just a quick example here. You got this little thing here, you see the setup, you click on this and magic will happen. You will see updated MMS settings. You will see videos. You will see my face and Maria's face popping through there if necessary. Say, no, I'll help you. All right? Please click on that before you call care and say, how do I set up this phone? Train your people when you bring them in. Make sure they understand this is where you go to get the answer. Spend a little time. It's worth it. Right? Think about the things you spend time on and spend a little bit of it on this. All right. Now the last piece, outreach. So we've got a lot of capabilities in outreach. We've got Outreach Manager. Now we're actually starting to feature content. We've got videos. We've got various different bits in there. We've got the ability for you to go and go into Facebook and tweet and to do all kinds of things. We've got it on your phone and we've got it on the web. But it's only one piece because what we found is that sharing is a very, very dynamic and personal thing. And for everyone, it's different. For everyone, different things work. Find what works, okay? It is not a mandatory thing that says, you must do 10 outreaches a day. But you know what? What we found is people that do 10 outreaches a day are a lot more successful. There is a correlation. But it is about sharing. It's about sharing all the time. And if you get what we're talking about, if you get what we're up to and how important it is and how impactful it is, you got to think of it like this. Shame on you not to share it with every person you meet. It is your obligation to share with everyone you meet. If you let them walk away, you've denied them the opportunity to be part of this. That's a big deal. So, if you feel more comfortable doing it and starting the conversation on the internet and on the web, fantastic, do that. If you feel more comfortable hanging out in the coffee shop, handing out cards, do that. Probably going to have to pay the guy off who owns the coffee shop, but it'll be worth it. You'll make so much money. But the point is, share often. And we've given you a lot of tools to do that. We continue to enhance these tools. We're monitoring what people's success rate is with every one of these pieces of content, and we continue to enhance it and improve it. Okay? And we'll continue to do that. You have our commitment to that. But you guys got to do your part. You got to be talking about it. You got to be active about it. Because it takes a conversation. There ain't many people who self-discover, come on through, and are bouncing baby successful members completely on their own. It takes a conversation. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Use the tools. We'll continue to enhance the tools. All right. This is also the contact tracker. There's a lot of key features in here. Take the time. We continue to enhance this. I talk about the guest book. Being able to track someone through, track their progress. See they opened up an email. See they came to the guest book. That's a fish on the hook, right? They have taken the time to actually go to the website. They've taken the time to actually go and click that Join Now button, right? Now what, right? Get them through. Get them through. You ain't done to the flopping on the boat. We're going to have to edit that one out. That's going to get played around the internet. All right, but there's a lot of tools, a lot of capabilities. So use often. All right. So, let's see what I covered so far. What, why, how? I think we pretty well got it. But here's the net. And this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with here. And this has been the latest little crawl in my side. But it's all right. It's all right. So what we're doing here, what we've created through your hard work, through the development of this platform, through the approach that we've taken, through focusing on building business that's focused on doing good and producing something of value and real, genuine value exchange, we've created something powerful and impactful here. But like we continue to say here, it starts with mobile service, but it's not just about mobile service. Ryan's going to tell you a little bit more about retail today. I'm really excited about what we're up to there. We're on a few things here. Last week, we stumbled upon something. You know, things just kind of come together, and we've been working at this one challenge, and it just kind of it just crystallized. And I was the most excited that I have been probably ever in my career, because it's just like we're so close to a major epiphany event, and we just kind of it just came together. It's like, that's it, and I'm going to show you. You ready?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's just this simple. Everything we're doing, everything we're building, the platform we're putting together, the relationships you're forming, bringing people into the system, how we interact and engage with them, how the compensation works, how the network works. You just put in the new stuff. Put in the next good and service. Put in deals and offers. Put in everything. And transform it from advertising to actual transactions. The conversations I've been having with people, and it's funny when Steve was talking about, well, you go to Walmart and you say, Walmart, we only got a couple 100,000 people and they're not going to be all that excited. Well, here's the funny part about that conversation, because I've been having those conversations, is I say, because they'll start out with, oh, well, yeah, we have a referral program, you guys just link into it. It's automated. Go to the website and go in there, we're going to pay a couple bucks for you to point people to us. And I say, no, buddy. We're not in that business. We're in the business of transactions. I want your business to explode. I only want to get compensated for actual transactions. No more pointing paper, click, paper, this, paper pay. Paper pay. Record that. Paper pay. And the reaction I get from people is like, are you serious? How do you do that? Well, I got a couple 100,000 people who do that. I got a platform where you can overnight point those people and the million of their friends to your stuff. Come on. Woo! Then they say, whoa. Let's do some business. Okay? So, the reason why I bring this up, and the craw that's sticking in my side, is that we've got a lot of folks out there who've been watching us. Actually, quite interestingly, quite a few of those people I know. Some of those are actually my friends. Literally my friends on Facebook, and literally my friends. Some I've worked with before. Who are now launching other companies, enterprises in this social commerce space, and actually using some of the same terms and some of the same approaches. I'm not going to name any names. That they got the special nugget. They figured it out. And I look at it and I say, that is one of an innumerable number of products and services, offers, and promotions that we'll be delivering. Through a platform that is far more advanced, I promise you, than anything anyone's put together on the planet for social commerce. Through a group of people who have figured it out already and are well on their way.
Yes.
So you do not have to attach other businesses to your business, because you've just attached every business to your business by being part of Solavei. that got me very excited. And the funny thing I can tell you, because I'm not that smart, it took me a while to figure it out. But when I figure it out, you all figure it out. So do you all figure it out now?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Pretty cool stuff, huh? All right. So let me leave you with this. That's my little girl. Tyler Jenny. That's her in her Solavei tagged caddy. Her mom's got a little bigger version, a little more rap. That's probably the biggest Solavei advocate on the planet right there. Yeah, so she sent me that picture one afternoon, and Tyler is so excited. She can tell you the value proposition of Solavei. Solavei truly is for everyone. So share it with everyone.
Good.
Got it?